adventure, sports, outdoors. With host Harry Canterbury.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah.
Hi, Harry Canterbury with another edition of Adventure Sports Outdoors. We're down at the Peoria Public Library downtown, and a great event going on here. It is a veterans art show. A lot of Vietnam veterans and anyone who has served and is connected with the Veterans Administration. We're also going to go to the Tack Shack, a shooting range right here in Peoria, a great facility for all you guys and gals that like to shoot. And if there's any of you girls out there that would like to become a shooter, they offer training. They also allow you to bring either your own gun or they have guns right there for your enjoyment. So join us today for a great show.
Adventure Sports Outdoors, brought to you in part by Corsaw Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield, Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.
Hey, we're down at the Peoria Public Library at a very neat, interesting display of artwork. I'm here with two guys, Mike Reagan and Randy Prunty. Randy was a Vietnam veteran guy that you were on the boats. He was in the Navy, and I've got Mike here. And Mike, I never did ask you, but what service were you in? You're a Navy guy too, okay.
20 years and 4 days.
20 years and 4 days.
Yeah.
That's a long time, buddy.
Yeah.
Long time to serve your country.
Yep.
But we've got a lot of neat stuff down here, and I'm really fascinated. You got everything from duck decoys to rare things that grow in the woods in the South Pacific that they call it ivory stone or something.
Yeah, ivory nut.
Ivory nut, yeah.
It's an ivory nut palm tree, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got
it's
a lot
all
of,
done by veterans.
Everything here, everything in this display is done by veterans.
Yeah, it's all dedicated to the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day. And we have 22 veteran artists that are in our show.
So this is to make aware of what's really going on.
Suicide awareness.
Awareness.
And help them go to the light side and get away from the dark side.
And you're the president of this deal we're attending. Tell us why it got started and he told us what the motive is, but tell us a little bit about this work.
Okay, well, when I was 5 years old, my grandfather committed suicide. He shot himself. He was a World War II veteran, and I didn't understand. After 20 years in the Navy, I get it now. We lost a veteran, Dale Kuntz passed away this year.
Monday.
He shared with Monday he passed, and he shared with us that his father was a World War I veteran that had committed suicide. Randy shared that it had affected him too.
My brother-in-law and my son-in-law committed suicide.
All right, and we've got art displayed here from a veteran that committed suicide that Randy knew. It's something. If 22 kids caught the Zika virus today, Center for Disease Control would call that an epidemic. 22 veterans commit suicide, and it doesn't seem to.
They make a big deal out of the guy. It's a football player or a basketball player, but here you got a guy that's saved.
Uniform.
Yeah, the ones that wear uniforms are just not getting the attention they should, and it's very, very nice that you've gone out of your way to make this a very important thing.
Right. The bottom line of it, the art. Veterans need to talk, and the ones that have the issues of PTSD and suicide thoughts, they need to talk. And art is that format that brings that together and helps them. Because I've had veterans come into my office, being a certified veteran service officer, and the family will say, how can we get them to talk? Well, art makes them talk. It makes them create, makes them think. It brings the family in, and this show will raise questions. And I guarantee there's pieces in here that people are going to see. Somebody's going to say, that reminds me of something that I felt like back then. It's all about talking. We got to get them to talk.
In association, because veterans that come here, just like you said, till you can identify with something or someone, you really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, some of our pieces are just pure creation, and some of them relate to issues and
Of the war.
incidents that happened way back when.
And I know you had some yourself.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's, I've been told about them, and they are pretty interesting, but they are pretty dramatic. They really are. They're just over the top.
When you talk about the political stuff, we have a piece on Agent Orange over there, which is an orange piece.
Our entrance piece.
It talks about Agent Orange, and it's funny because you can watch TV and see, were you ever affected? Do you ever use Roundup? You may have all these different diseases. Well, Agent Orange is the same stuff, but the VA is not putting commercials on late at night saying, do you have any of these diseases?
Like the mesothelioma or whatever.
Or the Zika virus.
Things,
or anything.
So, but there's a piece over there that has all the different diseases related to Agent Orange on it, and it's an orange piece. I use 3 different types of orange, and phosphorus actually glows in the dark if I put a black light on it. But I've had veterans stop by and see it at an art show in Peoria called Ignite and be like, what is this? And he's like, I've got this, I've got that. And I said, well, were you boots on ground in Vietnam? He's like, yeah, I spent a year there. So we call 1-800-827-1000 and say, you intend to file a claim. Then I tell him to follow up with the Veterans Assistance Commission, where Randy works, or the one in Peoria, and file a claim for the VA and actually get some compensation.
And that's what you do, Randy. You work for the Woodford County.
Right.
Yeah, but anybody can come there from other counties.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And they do. I get Peoria, I got McLean County, and all eras, all veterans.
All veterans.
And there's issues out there.
Yeah,
issues
there's a lot of them too.
Some of them walk in I've never even heard before, but.
There's something, a statistical number that I think might really make people wake up. We're going to round everything off. Let's say there was 60,000 direct, casualties during Vietnam. But when you start looking at the people that you all know and the ones I know and everybody out there knows, everyone knows somebody who has either committed suicide through drugs,
too fast
alcohol,
off the road.
driving too fast,
Yep.
or a lot of ways to do it.
It wasn't listed as a suicide, but
it's due to that
somebody
fact.
would have talked to him. It was.
And it's probably 500,000 people.
Absolutely.
The veterans of Vietnam are getting old. They're
Right.
getting older now. A lot of them are in their mid-70s, and the youngest would be 65. 65 would be just about the youngest you could possibly be. And they're gone, and they're dying.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but we participated in a war that was unpopular. It was fought because of our NATO affiliations with other countries, that we were supposed to be there to defend, a fellow NATO partner.
Right.
And we paid a dear, dear price in wealth and in blood here in the United States. And unfortunately, we're still bleeding. Randy, this is a drawing done by a good close friend of yours and a guy that I know.
Vietnam Army Special Warfare guy, Danny Ribchek.
Yeah, Danny was in the thick of the thickest. And Danny was involved in a lot of firefights.
Worked with mountain yards and the Laos.
Yeah, he is one of the guys that you see in the movies, like Rambo.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was the real McCoy. And he's in a wheelchair now. And we do all think it's due to Agent Orange exposure.
Absolutely.
But here's one that he did, and it's kind of...
And this just came to light last November,
Right.
Veterans Day 2018.
Uh-huh.
But Danny actually did it back in 1984.
84. And he says, "Hi ho."
Hi-ho.
That's Ho Chi Minh.
Yep.
Yeah. Danny was.
Real prolific back
Yes,
then.
he was. He was very talented.
Oh, very.
And he's an oriental picture of Vietnam, and
Viet Cong turning into
to a dragon, right? And I wish all of you knew Danny Ribchek. What an American, great guy, and made a lot of sacrifices, physically and mentally, to go to a place nobody knew about, to do things that they, it's tough, terrible.
Things that do this to your mind.
That's right. But he wrote a neat poem, and we'll end it with this. Got to put my glasses on, I can't see. With every stroke and every line, we'll travel to another time. With sleepless nights and horrid screams, come share with me my endless dreams. So gaze into these shadowed lines and travel through a wounded mind. Danny Ribchek.
Awesome.
Really something. Now, when I came in here a little while ago and I looked at this snake, I thought, oh my goodness, they got one taxidermied. Tell us about that.
And this is a high school friend of mine.
Guy you went to high school
We
with.
graduated from Metamora in 1966. He
Yeah.
was drafted into the Army, and I joined the Navy.
All right.
We both went to Vietnam. And Roger Seckler, and he just happens to do wood carving.
Look at this. I
And
mean,
he
look
said
at
that he
that.
wasn't that talented.
Oh, yes,
I
he
thought
is.
that was a cadaver of a snake that was stuffed.
Yeah, I
It's
thought it
so
was.
realistic.
Thought it was a real rattler.
It is.
He could pass
The
as
bird
one.
has feathers. I mean, just great detail.
Oh, that's really nice. Got a nice canvas back there. That's really pretty. Really nice stuff. That guy has a lot of talent. A lot of talent.
Hi, I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week. We've talked in the past about concealed carry handguns and self-defense handguns, but we have not talked about shotguns. A shotgun for home or for backpacking is hard to beat. You just can't hardly miss. If you're in bear country, a shotgun loaded with buckshot or slugs or something like that would be just a really good self-defense gun to have. We have a few examples of shotguns that would make a good choice for home defense. The first one here is a Mossberg. It has a collapsible stock. It's a 5-shot, 2 3/4 or 3-inch. It has a shell holder on the buttstock, and it's a pump shotgun. Pistol grip, pump shotgun. The next one in line is a Stevens. It has ghost ring sights, pistol grip, and it's also a pump. Shoots 2 3/4 or 3-inch. It's a 5-shot magazine. If you want a semi-automatic, there's many choices. This is a Benelli. It's a 12-gauge 3-inch with a Picatinny rail and ghost ring sights. And here at the other end, we have a pistol grip shotgun. It's a pump. It's got false muzzle brake here, and it's also a 5-shot, 2 3/4 or 3-inch. The last gun in line here is a Remington 870 Tactical. It has an 8-shot magazine, a Picatinny rail so you can mount optics on it, open sights, a ghost ring sight, and any of these would be a good choice. One accessory you would really want to put on any of these would be a sling. I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week.
We're at a very special place right here in Peoria, Illinois, the Tack Shack. You can do a lot of things here, and I'm with the owner, Justin Lipes. He has 2 facilities, one in Monmouth, Illinois, and this one on North University right here in Peoria. A lot of things to see, a lot of things to do, and we're just going to scratch the surface on the activities and the opportunities that a shooter has available to him right here in the city of Peoria. How long have you had this place?
It was a year, September, actually September 11th, 9/11.
And this was established sometime before, but you've made remarkable changes for the better. I mean,
Thank you,
tell us
yes.
about
Yeah, we
some of the
have.
things you have here.
You know, my goal was when I took this facility over was to make it a family-friendly environment and start at the young shooting enthusiasts all the way up to the older enthusiasts. So starting in that corner, we have Blue Falcon Battleground Nerf Wars, which is an indoor Nerf combat arena for all ages. Mostly kids enjoy it, but it's for everyone. It's a pretty decent size arena. We do birthday parties, general admission, things like that, so it's a lot of fun. And then going this way, we have the 6-lane indoor shooting range with the vestibule area where you can sit and observe shooters. We also have a lounge area just down the hall with snacks and pub tables and a flat panel TV to watch gun videos and such. You come out here into the pro shop, we have just about everything you need. And if we don't have it here in the store, we can get it. And move up the hall, we have the party room, which is now currently being remodeled, like I said, to host the birthday parties, corporate party, team building events, things of that nature. You move a little bit over to the right, we got a live action simulator where you can do scenario-based training and lots of different things as far as zombie shoots, just fun stuff of that nature. Go all the way to the east and Good Shepherd Defense Training and Liberty Defense Company.
And what are those?
So Good Shepherd Defense Company does all the personal defense training, church security, consultations. Liberty Defense specializes in executive protection and security services, armed guard security services. So, and that pretty much wraps everything up in this building.
So let's take a look at your facility.
All right, thank
bet.
you. All right, we're here in Blue Falcon Battleground where we have the Nerf Wars. So typically we only use darts. They don't cause any pain, they don't hurt, but it does leave enough impact where it allows the person to know that they've been hit. I have for demonstration purpose, I have this automatic Nerf gun here, and I'm gonna shoot Norm and let everybody know that it is safe to shoot in the arena with the darts. Now we always require that you have the proper PPE and safety equipment on, like the glasses, and then we have color-coded vests to determine which team each person is on. But for fun, we're gonna shoot Norm, and Norm has graciously volunteered. So are you ready, Norm? Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right. So there you have it. Norm, did that hurt?
No.
There you go. You got me again, Norm.
We're kind of in a dark room, and it's dark for a reason. I'm holding here a simulating gun. This is a Glock. It's supposed to look like a real Glock, and it really does.
Actually, it is a real one.
Oh, it is a real gun.
Yep, it's just
Okay.
got the CO2 kit.
It's got the CO2 kit. And tell us what that gun's all about and what that is.
Yeah, so this is actually a real Glock, serialized Glock 22. It has a special CO2 recoil barrel and magazine kit that basically allows the weapon to feel real in simulation. So when you pull the trigger, you get the blowback and you get the recoil.
So it's really close to what a real...
And it is really close. It's not quite, but it's very close.
So it gives you the idea of what to expect when you pull the trigger on one of these guns.
And it's really close to the loaded weight as well. So you're getting a really good idea.
I noticed
you're getting weight.
The gun, I mean, it really feels like, you know, the real McCoy.
It absolutely does, which is great for training.
Well, let's see.
Train like you fight.
Tell us about what you got back here.
Yeah, so this is the TI Outdoors live action simulator, and it's driven. This is the consumer portal, which allows the person renting the simulator to navigate through the menus via the pistol, whether it be just the regular plastic SIRT pistols or the live action pistols, and we also have a rifle. Where we usually use these primarily just for training. We have a training module that only the trainers are allowed to use with customers. So You can't actually come in off the street and do that, but you can set up appointments and go through the training for that. So you can navigate through the menu just by shooting the buttons. So for example, if you just wanted to pull up a regular target and just so you can kind of see how it works. And you get the blowback and the recoil, and also you can you drop the magazine. You can do magazine changes and everything. So on the scenario-based training and the instructor portal side of things, it gets really real, about as real as you can get without being in a real life scenario. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hand the pistol over to Norm and let him shoot and see what he thinks.
How do I decide who to shoot?
Okay, so the steel pop-ups, see how they pop up? You just. Nice.
Pretty good.
Good job, Norm.
Good job. Good job, Norm. Hey, that simulator was more than fun. Like I said, I could spend the whole afternoon shooting, and all the different scenarios that they present to you are really interesting. We're going to go in and do some shooting now, but before we go, Justin's going to tell you the type of equipment that you have to have before you enter the shooting range. Tell us about it.
All right, well, you got to have hearing and eye protection. So you can have anything basically from the basic foam plugs to your standard range rental earmuffs, all the way up to electronic and Bluetooth devices, as long as they have noise cancellation.
And these are actually better.
They usually are.
Usually are.
Yep, they usually have a higher decibel rating.
Yeah, and you have to have eye protection.
Absolutely, you got to have eye protection. You can bring your own, just something as long as you have protection over your eyes. So one thing I do want to talk about here before we go in is the proper way to case and uncase your firearms. So when you make your way into the shooting range and you get to your stall, you always take your firearms case and go into the stall and lay it on the shooter tray facing downrange. All right, you will always do your casing, and for demonstration purposes, we're going to make sure this firearm is clear. It's clear. You always face the firearm pointing downrange, and then you take your cases and anything else, ammunition, loaders, anything like that you don't need at the shooter stall, back to the rear. There's a counter behind you. You'll do all your loading either at the shooting stall facing downrange, or your loading of magazines at the rear, but at no time do you take your pistol or rifle
back and forth.
And you never go back and forth. You always leave your weapon pointing downrange at the shooter stall, so you always case it and uncase it in the shooter stall facing downrange.
Before we get started on this, you've had quite a career on you. How old are you?
I'm 37.
You're 37 years old?
I'll be 38 in January.
And give everybody a little background. We don't need to get all the details, but you worked for the railroad. You were a policeman.
I was.
You were in the United States Army.
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that pretty much summed it up, but yeah, I got a degree in law enforcement. I pursued the private industry first. I did some asset protection work for private corporations, loss prevention, that stuff. Became a police officer and was a police officer for a few years before going to work for Burlington Northern Santa Fe out of Galesburg. And then I started my own business, the Tack Shack, which was in a little tiny building. That's why it was called the Shack. So, you know, over a period of years, I was able to build that up, and I built the new range in Monmouth and took a chance and went out on my own, and I've been doing it ever since, and that was 2015 when I opened the range there. And then other than that, I still serve in the National Guard.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's cool. Well, you're a great American, buddy.
well, I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you bet.
Thank
Let's do some shooting.
Let's do some shooting.
You bet.
All right, so this is Harriet's Kimber, 1911 frame, chambered in .45 ACP. He was gracious enough to load the magazine for me, so I'm going to insert the mag, load a round in the chamber, and fire a few rounds here.
Hey, I wouldn't want to have you shooting back at me. Hey, we had a great time out here at the Tack Shack. It's always a lot of fun shooting guns. Whether you got a 22, a 38, or a 45, It's always nice to get out and shoot. A lot of folks get these guns, they put them in the drawer and they never go anywhere. But right here in Peoria, we got a place to go and have a lot of fun. We'll see you next month.
Adventure Sports Outdoors, brought to you in part by Corsaw Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield, Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.
Hope you all had a great Christmas. We did here at the Canterbury home.
And we're wishing everybody a very happy new year and the very best for 2019.
We here at the Canterbury house, we had a sad thing happen. We lost our teddy bear. And for all of you who have watched our show for over the last 28 years, you know Teddy Bear. He's been in duck hunting shows and pheasant hunting shows. He was a great dog. He lived 12 years and 4 months. I miss him. It happened yesterday. We had to put him down. He had congestive heart failure, and his quality of life was really deteriorating. And you know, I think about the heartache that we went through today and yesterday, but we will repeat that because I believe that pets bring the best out of human beings. Dogs and cats, the affection and love that they give you and you give them is a wonderful thing. Hey, we'll see you next month.